Welcome to Chaos March Republic. Here are the team's battle devices. Neither team choosing to fly, and one team deciding to take a chance taking 2 battle armor. Battle 472 team are the offensive, and they're down 1-0. First team to get to 3 wins is the victor. Let's see how the pugs are doing. Perfectly healthy. Outstanding. Well, I hope you like standoffs. Looks like we've got a DC at, we'll just call it 91, so the battle has already stopped. Whew. Oh. No hold called. It's a massive red X, which is strange for that player. Just have a very, very nice connection. Huh. Oh well, you get what you pay for. In the inner sphere. Well, this server isn't exactly Tharkad or New Avalon or any of those other fancy, expensive planets. She'll do good, but we found her on a wreck off some inner sphere pirates that were carrying too many things, so we helped them out. Of course, that's complete fiction, but that would be an interesting story about a server acquisition. Well, Arrow 4s and missiles. And the other team has ELRMs. Well, those didn't quite hit. And now not only does the blue team know where the red team's location is, but they also know what they're facing. Wait till they find out they're facing 2 battle armors. They'll go hunker down in a mech trap in a corner and wait for the timer to run out. It's the middle of the day. Don't use your jump jets. That's a one-way trip to Valhalla. Larg, the little battle armor, is using a target acquisition gear. I'll get you in the next fight. And that is what drives in the missiles. They have unlimited ammo, the red team, for bringing in the missiles, but the battle armor has to be careful now, because if one more battle armor death occurs, they will be down carrying assets, so that if there's a tie, they'll lose the tiebreaker. They basically want to go down and close the distance as much as possible and take out the missile assets. Otherwise, they'll take their chances trying to get a battle armor kill. You see that the low gravity environment makes it difficult for them. Whew. 2 players just DC from the team speed. That always makes things interesting in the battle, because you have to alt-tab to get back in. That's if it lets you back in. Hello, Wolverine's Rebirth. We may be paying you a visit shortly. Goodbye, forums. I'll be shutting you off soon to alleviate some bandwidth or something. Ooh! Not quite a hit with the cruise missiles. Close, but no cigar. It's nighttime, which means those jump jets you can use aplenty. And I'm sure that the missile assets have been moving far away for the red team. Blue team just simply trying to get another battle armor kill. Then they can run. So literally, they're going after that Gil player. Oh, they have it! Carrying rule is in effect! That's one of the dangers of taking that many battle armor, is that if you lose those 2 lives early, that puts the initiative is done now for the blue team. They can run and hide if they wish. Now, I hope this doesn't turn into one of those bloody 30-minute matches, but things are definitely going to change, because now the red team is going to not only have to get aggressive with the battle armor lives, they have plenty to spare. The only things they're allowed to respawn in this game mode of Chaos March are the battle armor. But on top of that, really the bigger issue now is that their missile assets are going to have to possibly reposition. Because if the blue team can get enough separation to where the missiles won't be in a good firing arc, they'll have to give chase. Only 6 minutes into the battle. Battle armor's starting to realize that they need to do some damage. I do think that they got some missile shots to land on some of the blue team's assets. Now, surprisingly, rather than running the hell away, I believe that the blue team is attempting to... They're being aggressive. They are still trying to fight the battle armor. They can destroy enough of the battle armor's lives, or that they outright just run out of lives, and they won't have to worry about the missile assets as much, because they won't have a laze target to hit. Now, the team compositions are a bit interesting on this fight. We have a break and play. Proxima came in, and we put him with the red team. And so if they get into a fight, they have a good pilot in the Thor. If they need to fight up close and abandon the missile strategy, they have outstanding battle armor pilots there, but they also are... Some of their ground assets aren't piloted by their most skilled pilots, so if this comes down to a brawl, they don't have the best things here. Mad Cat and the Thor and the Uzil can do some things, but the catapult and the battle armors won't be able to contribute if they're out of position. The other team has mostly long-range weapons, but the difference is that those weapons can all be used at close range as well. And it doesn't look like either team has too much in the way of lambs. So, battle armors are going to be the difference here. How effective that they are in getting the missile beacon on friendly missile beacon, so that any allied missiles will fire toward that direction, even if they do not have line of sight. But the battle armors only have 700 meters of range, and it's harder than it used to be. It used to be you could get up 700 meters or so, say about roughly this high, float around, and it would be hard for the mechs to hit you, and you would bring the missiles in. As you see, they're bringing them in now. But that isn't as easy without the floatiness of the PPC. It has a longer recharge time, and you can still get up there, but you have to think a bit more on your positioning, and I'm surprised that the blue team literally doesn't keep running around the map. They're found a defensive position, great, but you're simply allowing time for the battle armors to report your positioning, and reacquaint that ELRM and catapult missile launcher. It's a single Arrow 4 launcher, so the one lambs that they do have is able to do some damage against it. Their catapult is not firing in very good synchronization right now with their Arrow 4 launcher. I believe that this may be beyond the range of the ELRM catapult, so they have unlimited ammo and they're taking advantage of it. That's the other thing, though, is that they cannot move as well as they normally would, because they have a slow APC that only the battle armors can drive, so they'll probably actually have to stay in relatively one spot. I'm a bit surprised that they don't have one of the battle armors move back to the main team and move back and hit it. The blue team deciding to stay in one spot in Mech 2 mercenaries, the trainer said, "Speed is everything. A slow mech is a dead mech." Paraphrasing. And that applies to Chaos March in this situation. You should have your mechs moving and being hard targets and being in cover where the missiles can't do much damage. I don't know why the Jaguars are split off as they are. You're not going to do much. I see that Joey did take some damage from the initial missiles, so perhaps he is playing defensively, or perhaps they're just trying to get attacks on the missile assets. These missiles are starting to add up and do damage. The blue team literally is trying to wait for the timer to run out. The problem that they face, though, is that they still have to stay alive for 19 more minutes. Battle armors have 3 total lives to 5 total lives apiece. We'll get that. They have 5 total lives. And I believe each Glarg has died 3 times. Bear is still alive, so that's must have been before the battle. Denair still has full 5 lives, so I think you'll start seeing Denair being more aggressive with the missile beacon, while Glarg gets opportunistic shots or just outright scouts the positioning. Now, that is a counterpoint to what I've been mentioning, that it's a bit hard for the blue team to move right now because the battle armors can find and scout where they go, but staying in one spot is a bit dangerous, although the one spot that they have picked has very, very deep areas, so that the battle armors would have to jump very high in the air to get those missiles in. Silvercraft, that green laser, is their only defense against the missiles right now. I'm a bit surprised, though. They know where the enemy is. They've taken damage, but they're still in pretty good fighting shape, the blue team, and they're not being as aggressive as I might otherwise expect. Perhaps they're worried about the highly skilled battle armor pilots being able to do things. They're now attempting to move under the Arrow 4 missile range, do some attacks. They do have 2 lambs, it looks like, so they are able to mitigate the Arrow 4s a little bit. The problem they face, those the LRMs are in range now, so they face the full missile output of the enemy. The jump jets help at nighttime, but we're going to be reaching daytime. When you start hearing that alarm, that means things get hot. Well, you'd have to say that the blue team would have more of a disadvantage than the red team because they need the jump jets to be more maneuverable, and they're while the missiles run hot in temperature, you're far enough away that you can alter the fire enough. If you're the blue team and you start getting into range, you'll need to utilize your weapons. But the nice thing is the non-laser weapons for the blue team, such as the Legaus's on Joey's mech. That's what they were doing earlier. Joey's mech has 1.2 kilometers range, which is the longest range weapon they have for that team. Here's the tricky part. You don't want to get stuck behind everything. This is a really good anti-battle armor mech, the Hollander that they're using. And let's try and get a solid camera angle. Now they run. Now they decide, okay, let's get out of here. Gamer Seeker should not be using jump jets. That slows you down. Just turn. Gamer Seeker is going to die in very real danger of losing one of their best anti-BA weapons, and it's not a question of if, but when that mech is going to die now. They should not have jump jetted. They would have been perfectly fine had they not jump jetted, but now even if they barely stay alive, it won't matter as they've lost their anti-battle armor weapons, and this fight just became about how aggressively they can use BA. This is forcing the rest of the team to move in and attack. And again, right now, the blue team, the least thing that they want to have happen is one of their teammates to die, because they have a significant advantage with that carrying asset rule and force the red team to be extra aggressive. Anti-gamer trying to corral to let the battle armors know you're not going to get easy shots. Looking around, and clearing out enough time for the Hollander to get away. For now, the Hollander's literally going to have to go hide somewhere, power down, and hope that the battle armors do not find them. Battle armors have still got plenty of lives. I'm a bit surprised they're not being a bit more aggressive hunting down the mechs. Thing with the Hollander is that it cannot move very fast. Luckily, given all that damage, the Hollander still has his primary weapon, the cannon. Problem is, they're going to put themselves in a corner if they're not careful, and you don't want to put nobody in the corner when you're in mechs usually. Joey also a bit beat up. Low gravity makes it hard to lead your shots compared to what your muscle memory might be against stuff. Now, this was not a good idea. They're Thor, powerful, good trade-off, good weapons, good armor, but overextending like it did against two exceptional battle armor players cooked itself in hot air, and now the sun coming up, jump jets will not be an option really to protect it. They now have been whittled down in attrition. 3 of their mechs are not in optimum fighting shape, and frankly the battle armors could just move in, be aggressive with their remaining lives, try to get a 2 mech kills, and we have a tie. Here come the missiles. Silvercraft keeping good radar information so they know where the battle armors are. That is one advantage that they have with Silvercraft's Raven, that it can pick up battle armor locations very well, negating some of their stealth advantage. They're putting themselves in a corner though. Even Silvercraft's mech is smoking. 4 of the 5 mechs, 4 of the 6 mechs have taken rather decent damage, and if they lose that Thor, kiss this match goodbye. It's that simple. They need to kill the missile assets. The time for hiding may be ending very soon. So we take a look at the overall head cam. They were doing great against the battle armors early, then they got out of position and they weren't moving enough. Now they have to protect the backs of the mechs, which have taken so much damage, and the battle is very slowly turning in the way of the red team's initiative. Well, they're in a corner. 4 of their 6 assets are in a corner. And they lost the Hollander from earlier. They still have the firepower to do this, but instead of fighting the battle armors, they need to fight the missile launchers. Thor in really bad position here. They, I think, are hoping that the battle armors only had 3 lives, but now I think that they slowly realize that they have 5. They're trying to keep them away from the group, to keep them busy and not make it easy to acquire the missiles. You see the cruise missiles in the sky. They still have the advantage. If they could make time run out, that's still 10 minutes away. But maybe that's what they're thinking at this point. Just literally hole up and take their chances that they can keep the battle armors at bay. Those cruise missiles are going to start hitting. Glarg is in position now. Getting the last of their assets up, and they're going to take it to the edge of the map where the battle armors will have much shorter engagement window to make the laser work. The problem is that with the unlimited ammo, they can use the weapons to trigger the automated laser anti-missile system defense and be able to continue to track their positioning. Architect in a bad spot trying to protect Joey, however. The Thor taking damage off on the right, and they've lost their weapons. That Hollander was pretty key to their anti-battle armor weaponry, and the loss of that, the damage of that, and now protecting Joey the best they can so that they still have the carrying asset advantage. But you can see every mech is damaged and beat up now. The 2 battle armors are making all the difference in this fight right now. And that'll be something that will be affected by the upcoming rulebook ratification changes. There will be some differences, so this type of battles, at least in small player numbers, might not be as common. Completely perfect, completely within the rules. Very interesting strategies. But they did a good job early. Blue team had countered the battle armors very well early, but now any chances and prayers that they have literally are going to be to try and get the entire enemy mech team killed, or the red team, in the remaining 8 minutes. Problem is, remember earlier I said that Thor was in really good hands? Oh, that's a nasty piece of work, that Thor. So let's take a look up here, because this is their best mech up here. They're Thor trying to get into battle, trying to get a kill, knowing that victory is probably slipped out of their hands, trying to take out an expensive mech, force the team to pay to replace it. And the armor they have at this point is just literally blow something up. That's their entire strategy, just trying to take out the missile launch from Mad Cat. Anti-Gamer did everything possible. The Silvercraft, we'll have to revisit to see what happened here, because this was a slow and long battle, but a death by guts is still a death. So battle armor cheese, battle armor spam, whatever you want to call it. In this one, interesting. They don't get a couple battle armor kills, no mech kill, and now Silvercraft can't do much in that remnants of that Raven. And we did see some mech fighting there at the end, but that was the type of match that it was going to be a long, drawn-out battle. Let's see how close or how not close this was. They did a nice job against the Thor, but the rest of the mech's almost fresh. So we're tied 1-1, and we'll see how morale is after that one. Battle 472.